Hi, welcome back. We're gonna get right into Clifftown. Here, you're gonna hold the charge through here. Charging jump up that. You can't really skitter too well on that, which is why you do a charging jump. Usually just a charging jump over like just nothing is slower than just charging, but since it's an uphill, I think the charging jump is good there. What we're aiming for with these three Norks is you kind of see this gap right here. You kind of want to charge right into this. Like, don't worry about flaming. Don't worry about anything. Charge through this, and you'll hit all three. See how they kind of converge there? And what you want to do when you hit this third one is charging jump out of this. If you just charge, you can kind of get stuck on this enemy here. So charge and jump out of it into the portal. Not very much homeworld movement. That's a nice break after the last video that had about what 10-15 minutes of homeworld stuff. So here I'm gonna kind of already start to like take a wide line here because I'm gonna be going around this corner. So I hit this guy on the right. Okay, so this jump, it's gonna look kind of tough and it'll take a little bit to get down, but here's the trick. Full hop outwards. Don't glide. Don't glide. I've seen people tell people to glide this. It makes it infinitely harder. Don't glide, just full hop out, and then at the top, charge down and glide buffer. If you don't remember how to glide buffer, you just press X when you're already charging down, or when you're holding square and charging down, you'll glide buffer out. So keep holding square the whole time. Glide buffer out, charge, land. Through the back of these, skitter up this, charging jump around, magic stair onto that. Okay, so we're coming to a trick that beginners, you might not hit this. Um, I still struggle with this trick sometimes, depending on the day. Mama proxy. So this does save quite a bit of time to hit it. But I will. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to put a video down below on what to do if you miss this trick. Okay. Um, I'll say here's what I will say is if you miss this trick and you're a more advanced runner and you want to continue and not reset, the best thing you can do after you miss is actually kill this, or well, you're killing the mama as part of the trick, and then flame this cauldron, grab grab both those 5 gems, jump off the cliff and try again. Getting this second try and getting those 10 extra gems, if you do it quickly, it's actually like when factoring in the extra gems that you get is only roughly like a 6-7 second mistake. Um, as opposed to the backup route is actually gonna lose more like 15 seconds. So if you are confident that you can hit this trick, um, then go ahead, death abuse, go for it a second time. But I will also include a video of what to do if you miss this trick and you don't want to go for it again. That'll be in the description. So, what we want is to get this mama in the corner, but not too far in the corner. That's what makes this tough, because we want to be able to fit Spyro into the corner. You see, I don't really do a setup for this trick at all. Um, Another thing that I'll actually include in the description is, I believe, there's a slower setup for this if you want to make it more consistent, or um, it does lose a little bit of time to set it up, obviously, but if you want to try to make this consistent, or that's how you want to try it when you're first starting out, or even if you just find the time lost to be worth the setup, I'll also link a video of probably Toasted Cat. Toasted Cat is in 4th place in this category, and I believe he still does the setup for this, so that'll probably be a good reference. But anyway, what I'm kind of doing here is, you see I'm kind of curling in from the right, and I'm aiming at the mama's foot, this foot, to kind of like push her into the corner, but not too far, because if you hit her like over here, or like you're too straight and going like, she'll end up like not far enough in the corner or too far in the corner. If you can't fit Spyro in the corner, that means she's too far in the corner. if you jump in the corner after you flamer and don't get any sort of proxy, or a proxy that is not high enough, then that means she was not in the corner enough. But kind of watch this. So you get in and you go up. Okay? So once you hit that, you're going to charge down through these two chests. You thought the tricks were over. Now, people do this in a different way. This looks tough, and it can catch you sometimes. But here's what you want to do. Make sure to kind of really get to the edge here. See where I'm jumping from? And here's how I'm going to recommend to do it. Some people like to charge glide here. I like to just empty glide. An empty glide is just the casual way of gliding, just an X press, no square than X. And start holding X to get the roll bounce. I haven't mentioned roll bouncing since I barely mentioned it during the toasty wall glide part of the tutorial. Back was that the last video? Yeah, that would have been the last video. But you didn't actually see a video of it. But here you go. Here's roll bouncing. Hold X. And you can control Spyro in this state, okay? And you want to kind of aim for this top corner, like in this general area, okay? And while you're doing that, you want to kind of be curling back at the same time so that you have momentum going this way, okay? And then charge grind onto the edge, okay? I prefer to be a little aggressive here more than you would be on like a typical. You see kind of the angle that I'm holding here is kind of pretty far into the cliff. I like to be aggressive there and it seems to work. There is, I believe, a more safe way of doing this where you go back here and like you can't see the part of the roof and then you charge up onto this ledge, and I just think that charge on is harder. And but if you mess it up, you'll fall down and just be able to like still be roll bouncing, so you'll get to at least try it again. But you can mess with that if you want. Personally, I would say just learn it this way. It's faster, and personally, I find this charge on easier. You'll have to mess with it a little bit, but you know. Okay, so once you're up here, into the green gem, and you can actually skitter jump here and then do a flame charge up through this with a charging jump. I find that to be really difficult to get consistent, so I personally don't do it. This is kind of the safer way of doing it. For a super safe way, you can just jump charge through it and kind of do that, but I'm gonna kind of jump flame charge. You see that? This is kind of like an interesting flame charge since we're doing it in the air, but you know, it lets me cut the corner a little bit there at least, you know. Into this dragon. Always keep in mind the skitters. So after this dragon, hold charging jump and down left. Okay? Charging jump down left. And just holding that the whole time, you'll result in getting both these. Oops. You'll result in getting both these gems. And once you get this gem, you're going to want to jump charge. And be careful with that jump charge. I've died a couple times taking it too far and going down into the lake. It's not the worst death because you do just spawn back up at that dragon, then you can just glide to this one, but it's not fun after you know, hit mama proxy or whatever, and then that happens. So yeah, and you can make it with just a charging jump glide. Out of this dragon, charging jump to the right. This is going to be some more tricky movement. So you can push this as far as you want or make it as safe as you want. Some people, they literally just stop right here and like turn around with Spyro and kind of save a little bit of time. I like to go a little bit further so that I have a little bit of momentum coming back to make this jump. Like that. Yeah. If you want, when you're beginning, you know, run to the back and, you know, even like turn around and press triangle and like get lined up for the jump so you can make this, right? Because these are valuable gems up here. You want these. Okay. Here, coming up for this next part, we're going to be flaming a rocket, and it makes it infinitely easier once you have consistent movement. Because you're going to kind of like, be landing in the same spot. Because you're not supposed to be able to flame this rocket like this. Um, but when you don't have consistent movement, keep in mind that you don't want to be like barrel stuffing the rocket, so to speak. You don't want to be like touching the rocket. See how I do have some distance from it to get it, like getting the flame out. If you're like too close to the wall's just going to eat the entirety of the flame. So keep in mind, you want some distance, get the flame out. Really like see how I've already pressed flame here. If I like would have pressed flame like right here, it probably would not have worked. If I would have pressed it right here, because it probably would have just got eaten by the wall. Yeah. So let's kind of watch all that together. Charge, flame charge. I like to throw in that glide buffer because I feel like it sets me up in a good spot for this jump down. And obviously I'm taking it very aggressively. I'm assuming that I'm hitting the rocket. If you have game sound on, you can hear the rocket kind of like start, like when you light it. To be sure if you can't see it on screen. But obviously if you're taking it slower, you can be a little safer and like flame it and kind of stay up there and wait to hear that and then jump down. If you do jump down like this after you've missed the rocket, your best choice is usually to come like the route's going to eventually take us to this bridge and jump from around this bridge somewhere around here and charge glide back over and then flame the rocket at that point and then charge glide back over here. And if you do that as quick as possible, it loses about 6 seconds, but that's about as fast as you can recover it. Your other option is just go without it at that point, but you are dropping a lot of gems at that point. I'm not sure exactly how many gems are in the thing. It's like 27 or something like that. So it's a lot of gems to drop. You probably don't want to do that, especially when you're starting out. Anyway. One guy here. Charging jump around, get around the corner. Here. Some people, they'll get these and like jump on this and then like and then jump up onto this. I prefer to just kind of take a line around here. Oh, and one thing I will mention, a very odd mechanic, is if you're like running into a wall with Spyro, sometimes it like messes Sparx up. Like I've had it where I tried to take an inside line here too much and I'm like kind of charging into the corner as I'm running around, like charging into this wall. And Sparx actually didn't pick up like one of these gems. But if you don't do if, so if that happens to you, that's the reason why. I couldn't tell you why that happens. But I can tell you it won't happen if you don't do that. Jump charge onto this. Magic stare. Skitters. Flame charge. So Clifftown's gonna have some really cool and unique movement in my opinion here because you're flame charging here to hit both of these. Then grab them out of the air with a charge glide. Land. This is a really tricky section. This is a really tough section to get this and also hit both of these. You kind of see I hit the flame charge. Let's kind of watch that slow. So I'm getting the flame charge out. Charging down so that gem homes. And also using that flame to hit these two things. Charge gliding out. You see how this has some really cool movement? It's fun to master, but it will take time. Skitters. It's too. Once you get here, it's too sharp for skitters. We don't want to go up here and get this red gem. We want to just cut this gap. Charging jump across. Charge through. Flame charge. See how we're making sure to hit this enemy with our head while also hitting this enemy with the flame. There's also various ways to do this section. Some people go off to the right and then come through these chests like more like that. I prefer to just go this way. Flame charge out so that you don't have to charge all the way through the second chest. But you want to be careful with flame charging because if you do it too early, then you're gonna like possibly like break this first chest too close for a flame charge and it's not gonna work, and maybe even too far for the second one also. But either way, you're gonna mess it up if you flame before that first basket, kind of, or like, you know, too early, I should say, because I am flaming before the first basket. That shows that there is some range to, making flame charges work, because both these do. That's pushing it, I will say. This is a fairly early one as far as what you would want. Like ideally, you're probably like waiting another frame or two for that, because this was really pushing it for the second one to home in, but it does here. Yeah. Then you're gonna turn around. See, I'm kind of fading back. Charging through here. Charging through there. So let's watch all that. I know it's advancing frame by frame. It was a little finicky, so let's watch this whole thing. Boom, boom, boom. Charging jump across. Now, you wanna, when you're charging jumping and crossing, you want to um uh kind of like take note of where these gems are, kind of analyze the situation, because there's quite a bit of gem RNG and it affects what you do. Here we see a pretty wide spread, so I'm assuming I'm probably gonna roll here. If you run through these gems too quick, a lot of times one of these golds won't home and you don't want to miss a gold. So whether you have to roll or whether you have to maybe do a little walk or whatever, you'll kind of get the feel of what you have to do with different gem spreads as you play. Yep, there's the roll. Jump charge, jump charge, jump charge. See, I'm taking those stairs two at a time. Here's going to be similar movement. We're going to want to get this flame here and then grab this gem out of the air. Back this way. Some people grab this gem and the gem that's going to come out here and then go around that way. I think it's slower. It's a little bit safer because this gem can kind of land in some funky spots, but you'll see how we get that one. Here. Touch Dragon. Now, this gem is a bit of a pain. We want to kind of, like, this takes a while to get the feel for exactly the angle you have to hold here and the timing for the jump and the charge down, because this is a little finicky corner to land in. And sometimes the gem's down here, sometimes it lands up here. Sometimes, basically, we're going to be aiming to land in this area, and sometimes even when it's up here, Sparx will grab it. Sometimes he won't. But in general, this is the movement that we go for that picks it up the most. See how I land down in there? Let me say, like, if you land, like, even right here, or, like, kind of in this area, this corner kind of, like, prevents Spyro from touching the ground, which prevents Sparx from picking things up. In Spyro 1, Sparx can't pick anything up when you're in the air. Charging jump around, skitters, charge through, and you see how, like, I'm always like keeping in mind where I'm going next, right? Like, see how I'm already angling towards this chest as I'm coming around this way. Yeah. I kind of let go of the charge for a second there. See how I'll just let go of the charge and then charge through again. Like, just a brief let go. You can jump charge and it might even be faster. Personally, I like to do a lot of those like let go of charges and pivot like that, like quick pivots. That's kind of like unique to my move style. So do whatever you feel comfortable with. But anyway, this is the first level. We're gonna jump up into the vortex actually, which, remember, same thing with whirlwinds, same things with the vortex. Jump up into it diagonally. Jump up diagonally. Get the momentum upwards. Exiting through vortex when it's right by where we want to end anyway is actually faster than exiting through the menu. So that's why we do that. And yeah, that's gonna be Clifftown. That's a perfect 285 gem Clifftown.